What's up, guys? Welcome to NMD TV, No More Defeats TV. What all we do is win, never taking any losses. And shout out to all my bosses. NMD TV, Canes all day. If you rocking with the U, then you know what to do. Hit that like button. And if you're new and you rocking with the U, then hit that subscribe button. Canes After Dark. We're going, this is live stream number 3 on season 2. This is season 2 of Canes After Dark. We brought back the live streams. We heard what the people were saying, so we brought them back. Right off the bat, before the show even starts, George hits us with a $2 super chat. He says, Florida beat Miami, yin and yang. Listen, we're not worried about Florida. Right now, we're taking Isaiah Walker from Florida, Avante Williams from Florida. We take who we want from Florida. Better recruiting class, and they won more games than us. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. But I do want to give a shout out to George, as he is on the Super Chat leaderboard. Super Chat, get your voice heard, and get on the leaderboard. Right now, I want to give a shout out to Michelle, who Super Chatted Jose, and of course, George, who not only Super Chatted last show, but Super Chatted this show. George, Michelle, Jose, I appreciate you. And you know I got to give a shout out to the Kane Gang, to the Patreon squad, David, Derek, Florida Trucker, Gregory, J.E. Love, Kurt, Michelle, Kane's Wild, Mike, Maury, You Go Where. I appreciate you guys. Make sure, and my guy, Will Sky. Hey, without the Patreon squad, this show that we're doing right now wouldn't even be happening. So, hey, Patreon squad, I appreciate you guys. Hey, Super Chatters, I appreciate you guys. Hey, Anthony, George, everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys. And we got us a good show tonight. We'll see how tonight or how long we go. We don't know. But right now, these Canes After Dark have been fire. And that's because of the people who come into the chat. That's because of the people who keep the thing going. The thing about the Miami Hurricanes, no matter how bad they want us to be down, no matter how much they say we're terrible, no matter how much anything they want to say about us, we're always the topic of discussion. If we're winning, they're talking about us. If we're losing, they're talking about us. We could not win a game and they would still be talking about the Miami Hurricanes, because we make this college football landscape go. You best believe it. We aren't joking when we say it's all about the U. Now, a lot of news has come out. We've talked about the Isaiah Walker. We've talked about possibly Tagovailoa coming to Miami. There's been no recent updates on that. We've talked about the impact of Isaiah Walker officially coming to Miami. Today, I got a what-if scenario that happened because of a news article about this weekend. Like I said, they're always talking about the U. And it's talking about Jalen Hurts' decision to go to Oklahoma instead of Miami or Maryland. I want to read that article for you, and I want to dissect it, and I want to tell you what I think would have happened if Jalen Hurts would have been wearing that green, white, and orange. Now, check this out. I also want to talk about 247, who put out their top 10 transfers. So the top 10 transfers, they put out like a power 10. And to really to give you just a full-fledged thing, Miami's basically running the list. So I want to talk about those players, and of course just give you a quick synopsis of what I think about that, okay? So without further ado, let's start with Jalen Hurts. Now let's rewind before I read the article of what happened last year, okay? The season ended. Miami hires Dan Enos is offensive coordinator, and right after that, we go into the portal to try to get us a quarterback. Now, you see Tate Martell on your screen, and you may be saying, why is Tate Martell on the screen? Well, Tate Martell was one of our options. Jalen Hurts was one of our options. We actually brought Jalen Hurts to Miami. He actually came for a visit. We took him out for some steak, lobsters, some hors d'oeuvres. You know, we wined and dined him. And boy, I thought, hey, I was thinking, listen, we got his old offensive coordinator. We've got some talent. Brevin Jordan, Jeff Thomas, DJ Dallas. I said, this man could possibly be coming to the U. And I mean, they put out the full court press to get him. And finally, I remember one Sunday, I looked and there was an article that was written, a letter penned to Alabama from Jalen Hurts. And at the end, it said that he would be, yes, correction, Crowder, you're right. You're right. The quarterback coach. He was the quarterback coach, not the full-fledged offensive coordinator. That was Mike Locksley. But it said that he would be the Oklahoma Sooners. So Jalen Hurts goes to Oklahoma. We get Tate Martell. Oklahoma goes to the college football playoffs. Miami wins 6 games. And I always wonder, what if? And this is something that I had thought about before, but I hadn't really thought about it into a long time until Nick Saban did an interview. He did an interview with somebody, don't know exactly who, but in that interview, he said some things. I want to just read the article for you, okay? The headline says, Nick Saban says he advised Jalen Hurts to pick Oklahoma over Miami and Maryland. Before he was one of the more talked about draft picks, Jalen Hurts had a fascinating grad transfer recruitment. More than a year later, Nick Saban lent some insight into the process that landed Hurts in Oklahoma for a crucial senior season. Doing an interview with the website for the Philadelphia Eagles, who drafted Hurts in the second round, Saban spoke about the 3-team pursuit of the Alabama quarterback. Saban said the plan was always to pursue the transfer after Hurts' third Alabama season if he was not the starter. Tua Tagovailoa, of course, had secured the job over the previous summer, so Hurts was officially on the market for the 2018 season, after the 2018 season. And he said, this is what Nick Saban said, I remember him coming into me and saying he could go to Miami because the quarterback coach had gone to Miami as the offensive coordinator. Mike Locksley got the head coaching job at Maryland. I could go to Maryland or I could go to Oklahoma. Locksley was the former Alabama offensive coordinator who had been on staff with Hurts for 3 Alabamas. Enos was the quarterback coach in Hurts' third season before leaving for Miami just days after Alabama's season ended with the national championship. I said, now this is Nick Saban talking. This is Nick Saban. I said, Jalen, where do they have the best players? Because he felt more comfortable going where he knew these guys, Saban said. And he said, well, I think they have the best players at Oklahoma. I said, we just played them. And they had some pretty good players on offense too. I said, I've always told you the quarterback position is a hard one to play if you don't have players around you, Saban said. So if I was you, in order to create the most value, because you have 1 year to do it, if you can be the starter there, go where you have the best players. Talking about Oklahoma. There's no disrespect to anybody else. The guys that worked here did a great job here. It's the best for you. That's now you have to make the decision right now. And he did that. And I think he did a great job at Oklahoma. Now we know Hurts went on for throwing over 3,000 yards in the season, another playoff appearance, and he gets the second round. He goes in the second round to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, when I hear that, do I agree with Nick Saban? Yes, Oklahoma had better players than Miami. And when you look at the wide receiver position, CeeDee Lamb, those guys, they had better players. I agree. But do I like it? No. You think about it now, this is the second time Nick Saban has screwed over Miami. Okay? This is the second time. He did it with the Dolphins, and he did it with the Hurricanes. Kept us from getting Jalen Hurts. So I see Randy Noel in the chat. Shout out to Randy. He said, what's the point? Oh, I'm getting there. Okay? I'm getting there. The point is, And I'm not saying Saban was wrong. I never said Saban was wrong. But it got me wondering, what if Jalen Hurts would have came to Miami? And I'll ask the chat, because I asked this on Twitter and I got 100 different responses. That would be my question. We know Miami this year, we ended up getting Tate Martell. We ended up having a horrible quarterback situation. Ended up only winning 6 games. Getting shut out to Louisiana Tech. If Jalen Hurts comes to Miami, of course he would have been a starter. Would Miami had won more than 9 games? You go where in the house? What's up, you go where? I'll tell you this. I think so. I think if we get Jalen Hurts, and what people got to realize is we have talent at Miami. I don't think we have the talent that Oklahoma had or the talent that Alabama have. But I think the biggest thing on offense that we were missing last year is, one, an X factor. We didn't have anybody that scared the defensive coordinator. I've said this, and I want people really to look. There was no person that really scared. If you add Jalen Hurts, you have to plan to stop Jalen Hurts. Okay. Secondly, I hear a lot of people talk about, well, Jalen Hurts wouldn't have fit in this scheme, or he wouldn't have done this scheme. When you look at what Jalen Hurts did, Jalen Hurts, he brought a leadership aspect to him. He was a proven winner. A proven winner. He brought a leadership into that locker room. So think about this. So think about, you got Jalen Hurts. Let's say you get Jalen Hurts coming in. Shout out to my guy Dorian. Let's say you get Jalen Hurts coming in, and you also got KJ Osborne. We saw how KJ Osborne instilled a work ethic into the receivers to where, you know, he started staying after practice, then everybody started staying after practice. From what was reported, KJ Osborne started that. Imagine if you have Jalen Hurts in that locker room as well. Now you got 2 guys that goes above and beyond when it comes to work ethic and working hard. And you have a proven winner. Another thing is, you look at the way that Miami lost games. Although last season was a horrible season, Danny Enos' offense was terrible. We know. But Miami was in basically every game. Miami was basically in every game. And I want to give a shout out to one of my Twitter followers, because this is what he said. And it was a nice little breakdown. It made things easier for me. He said, let's see if I can find it here. Conjuto Kane 89, shout out to him. He said Miami would go 12-1. Now, I don't agree we would have went 12-1, but he said every loss last year was close, and with Hurts at Miami, we would have won every game. Only loss would have been to Clemson. I don't think we would have been 12-1, but you look at our losses. We lost to Florida by 4. We lost to North Carolina by 3, Virginia by 7, Georgia Tech by 7, FIU by 6, Duke by 10. You can't tell me adding Jalen Hurts to this Miami team wouldn't have gave us a win over Louisiana Tech or FIU or some of those teams like that. So I know it's hypothetical thinking. Listen, man, it's the offseason. This article came across my desk, and I said, things could have been different, you know? Obviously, things aren't different, but it's definitely something that I wanted to talk about and definitely, talk about on Canes After Dark, you know? Dorian says, Saban knows Miami is a sleeping giant. If we won with Jalen, it would hurt Bama's recruiting in South Florida. The one thing that the SEC fears is Miami being able to lock down South Florida again. Listen to what this man is saying. Listen to what this man's saying. He's making some valid points. If Miami and Florida State are at a top tier level, all these players aren't leaving like they're leaving. And who's benefiting the most from the Florida players? Georgia and Alabama. Now Clemson's in the mix. They coming in here getting boys too. Randy says we needed a field goal and better O-lineman last year. We had 9 wins. I'll tell you one thing. I think Jalen Hurts make our offensive line better because of his scrambling ability. And we saw that last year a lot of times. We saw Oklahoma running game go to another level because of them being able to do things like run a quarterback power or, Jalen Hurts just making plays with his legs. I do agree. We needed field goals. I don't think Jalen Hurts can kick field goals, but I do think he would have made our offensive line better. I mean, because we were like statues back there, especially Jaren. I mean, Jaren took a lot of sacks. He held onto the ball a lot. I can tell you one thing. We would have had a quarterback that was prepared to play. I can tell you that much. We would have a quarterback who was at practice. I can tell you that much. One can assume we would have a quarterback that wasn't out partying the week of the FIU game. I'm just assuming here. We don't really know, but we're just assuming here. Anthony says, NMD TV, if Jalen Hurts came to Miami, realistically, I don't think he would have been drafted where he was with the Eagles. He would have been drafted in the 7th or been signed as an undrafted free agent. I mean, that's a possibility. That's a possibility, but people got to realize that the big thing about Jalen Hurts is his leadership abilities and how he handled adversity at Oklahoma. That's why the Eagles drafted him. He is talented, but the way he handled himself played a big part in him going to Philadelphia. Let me tell you why. Do you think Jalen Hurts goes to Philadelphia if when Nick Saban benched him, if he would have went to the media and said, this is bull crap, I need to be playing, this is bull crap? No, what did he do? He stayed, he knew his role, he prepared as the starter, he actually got a chance in an SEC championship game. He stayed, he didn't disrupt the team. That's why Philly drafted him, because they know that we drafted Jalen Hurts, who's going to be a hard worker, who can make plays, but most of all, he's not going to be a controversy type of player to mess up things with Carson Wentz. So, Anthony, that is an opinion. And right now we're just guessing, assuming, and we're just having fun saying, what if? But I think you look at what he did at Alabama. People got to realize some of the things that the scouts really liked about him, besides his playmaking ability, is his maturity and how he handled the situation. Because if it's me, I probably wouldn't have handled it as good as Jalen Hurts did. Randy says a real sleeper transfer this year is our field goal kicker, Jose Borregales. Yes. And this is how it is when it comes to the kickers. We don't show them any love until they hit a game winner, or we show them a lot of attention when they miss a game winner. But I agree with you, man. I think, listen, if we have a field goal kicker last year, things are different. So I don't know how. So if we have a field goal kicker, things are different. That's why I don't understand is if we have a Heisman hopeful added to this team, how things wouldn't have been different. So big time, big time. That was just a what if. Something that I was thinking about. And, I remember last summer, at one point I was thinking that we'd get, I was thinking we'd get Jalen and we'd get Tate, ended up getting Tate, and we know how that thing ended. No, as of right now, no big news on recruiting that I've heard of. That's why today's story is talking about what if Jalen Hurts would have came here, because I did want to go live for you guys. And right now the news is quiet. We got all our fixings over the weekend with the Isaiah Walker story. NMD TV, if there's no season this year and Derek King decides to declare for the supplemental draft in July, does Tua comes to Miami, or does Tyler Van Dyke automatically become the starter? I think N'Kosi Perry's going to be our starter next year. Not this upcoming season, but the year after. I got N'Kosi Perry. I got Perry time. Give Perry the keys. Let him know you're our quarterback, and Perry will do good things. When you look at what Perry's been through, 3 different offensive coordinators, pulled in and pulled. Has it been 3? Rhett Lashley's his 3rd. The handling of the quarterback position, putting N'Kosi in, taking N'Kosi out, putting N'Kosi in, taking N'Kosi out. Give the man the keys and let's see what he can do. And I think we'll be amazed at what N'Kosi can do with the Rhett Lashley offense, and with confidence from our coaching staff, and with coaching from our coaching staff. Yeah, man, this whole season is gonna be. I was watching. I interviewed former Miami Hurricane quarterback Evan Sheriffs. And I asked him about the Pittsburgh game, the 2017 Pittsburgh game that they lost. And one thing he said was one of the reasons that threw them off was there wasn't a lot of attendance at that game. There wasn't a lot of attendance at that game. And so as a team, they didn't play up to par. It really threw them off. So I wonder, with no fans, how will our play be? I mean, everything's it's gonna just look weird. I mean, I was watching UFC this weekend, and the guy was talking, and I'm expecting to hear applause, and you don't hear anything because there was no fans there, I believe. And so I can only imagine college football, Miami versus Florida State. That's gonna be I'll watch it because I love college football. I love Miami football, but things are going to be different, man. I think about the way the stadium looked. I wasn't there, but the way I felt the stadium when DJ Dallas took that 60-yard run to the house against Virginia Tech. People going crazy. DJ ripping off his helmet. People throwing towels in the air. People crowd surfing. It was going crazy. You felt the energy. And then when Bubba mixed it, you felt the energy go right out the building. But I'll tell you, I think a college football season with no sports, it's definitely going to be weird. There's no doubt about that, okay? But I guess it's better than nothing. I guess you look at it and say it's better than nothing, all right? So one last thing I wanted to discuss is 247, they put out their top 10 transfers in college football. Top 10 transfers in college football, okay? This is by the old guys at 247. And Miami has 3 guys on here. 3 guys. So you want to look at this list, and let's see. Number 1, Cade Mays. Number 2, JT Daniels. KJ Castillo. And then Miami gets his first player on the board with Quincy Roche. Then we're going to go Jabril Cox to LSU. Then Miami again, offensive tackle Isaiah Walker. And then we got Jamie Newman, and then De'Aaron King. And then they got Chris Murray and Britton Cox. 1 Florida Gator on the list, 3 Miami Hurricanes. And it's going to be interesting for all 3 of these guys when I look at this top 10 list, and when I just look at our overall transfers. Like Randy said earlier, I think a transfer that we don't talk about enough is Jose Borregales. I think De'Aaron King's super low. I think D'Eriq King is super low. I don't know if that has to do with him only playing 4 games. But yeah, I mean, I'm taking D'Eriq King over JT Daniels, KJ Castillo. The only reason I don't know about Cade Mays is because Cade, a talented young offensive tackle. Offensive tackles are hard to find. Quincy Roche, I wouldn't take him over Quincy, Jabril. Yeah, I think D'Eriq should be in the top 5 at least. I think if you look at what D'Eriq King, what his skill set is, it definitely should be top 5. NMD TV, in your opinion, who is the starting defense backfield at safety or our 3 corners? Right now, I would say Blades, Ivy, Carter, and God, what am I thinking about my boy 2-6? Garvin Hall. Those are my guys. That's my 4. Those are my 4 right there. You're gonna have Bubba Baxa in there. Not Bubba Baxa. You're gonna have Bubba Bolden in the mix. Avante Williams at striker. I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna play Avante. I don't know if to me, he would have to put on a little bit more size to handle the striker position. I like Couch at the 3rd corner. Keontra moving to striker is something that everybody loves. To me, listen, when you talk about that striker position, I've really got to see it to believe it, because that striker position is tougher than everybody think. You've got to be strong and physical enough to play the run, but you also got to be disciplined, fast enough in coverage to play deep. So Frierson, you saw Frierson do pretty good last year, but he got beat deep a couple times. Actually, if you looked at what position got beat the most last year, it was that striker position. Tutu Atwell got us. The guy from FIU, what was his last name? Gator got us. We gave up a big one in the Florida game, and I thought Romeo Finley did the best he could. So Gilbert Frierson, he's going to be at that striker position. Keontra, I'm excited to see, because they say that's basically what he played in high school. He played up at the line, box safety style. But when you're at that striker position, it's a different animal at this level. So playing that striker position isn't easy. So it's going to have to be somebody that Coach Baker truly trusts and that can hold up as well. In my opinion, I think Bubba should start over Carter. But I don't think our coaching staff will do that. I think they're gonna start Carter. Is Christian Williams playing? Hey, Christian Williams, it's time for him to step up. Last year, to me, this is me, a lot of people look at Christian Williams and they think he has the more upside, but I've seen more out of Takori Couch. And Takori Couch is a guy that I've liked since high school, because he's going to fight you every fight. The only downside with him is his size. He can cover. He has the attitude that I like. And he's a guy who I think can play that, to basically take Bandy's role. When Bandy only played the inside, played more of the nickel. I would like to see Carter slide down to outside linebacker. I like Carter at safety, but I just like Bubba better. I like Bubba and Hall, but to me, we know how they're going to do it. They're just going to rotate the safeties. I like for us to have 4 starters and keep them in there. But speaking on if it's anything like last year, we rotated the safety position a ton. It's also going to be is how healthy is Bubba as well. You know, how healthy is he? Because I mean, the guy was flying around when he's out there, but will he be ready? One can assume, but a lot of people thought, everybody always thinks injuries are just gonna, once the season start, their injuries are just 100%, but we'll see. But I think you're gonna look at, if I had to put my money on it, I say Carter and Hall is gonna be our starting safeties. I think that's what they're gonna go with. Not saying they're gonna play seniority. I just think Carter is the guy that they know, that they trust. It's going to be hard for, I think it's going to be tough for them to put in Bowden over there. So you would have to look at how they would do that, you know. So I'm guessing if we had Carter, Hall, and Bowden out there, okay. So are we taking, do y'all want GB3 off of the defense? Yeah, but the thing about the ankle, the thing about it is when you get that ankle injury, you know, if you come back too soon, an ankle injury, you can re-injure it super quickly. And then with that ankle being hurt, what you've been in a cast, that weakens your leg. So not only do you have to reheal the ankle, but then you got to reheal your whole leg as well. Okay. I just don't know if Carter has the coverage skills to play that striker position, in my opinion. Nah, I'd rather have Blaze than Ivy. I trust Blaze way more than I do Ivy. Are we debating that? Is there a debate with that? I'd rather have Blaze than Ivy out there. I trust Blaze way more. Yeah, man. I mean, when you look at Amari Carter, I think he does have the size. My thing would be just the bottom line is when teams play us, you can go back and look at it. You're going to be one-on-one with some wide receivers. They're not putting a lot of tight ends on the strikers. Last year, they put the slot wide receiver and said, we're going to take shots at you. And sometimes they didn't get us, but sometimes they didn't get us. But I can't even talk right. Sometimes they didn't get us, sometimes they did. Blaze got lost in coverage weekly. Not impressive. No, he did not. No, he did not. He got beat in the Louisville game. I've done a full-fledged film breakdown on him. It's on the channel. He got beat in the Louisville game in zone, and that was and then he got beat in the Louisiana Tech game. But those was just off of quick slants, and quick slants weren't a tough one. I've seen DJ Ivy not in the screen. I've seen DJ Ivy not even cover a fake punt that he's supposed to be covered. I've seen DJ Ivy, the man's 20 yards past him, and he's still looking in the backfield for some reason. I'm taking Blades. Yeah, and that Woodboy says Carter can't play man-to-man to save his life. And that's why a lot of people are saying, well, throw Keontra Smith at striker. Throw Carter at striker. Whoever's playing that striker position, they've got to be able to cover, because halfway through the season, teams quickly figured out, like, hey, you know, we're gonna attack that. We're gonna put our fastest wide receiver on their striker and see if we can get out of there. But But this is another thing, and I'll say this. This is theoretically next year, our secondary should be better because our front seven should be dominant. Theoretically, our D-line should dominate, which means it takes a load off of the secondary. So I am tough on some of these guys, and whoever the striker is, they're going to have to play in coverage. But one would think you're adding Quincy Roche, Gregory Rousseau for another year, a healthy Nesta Severa, Jalen Phillips. The secondary shouldn't have to cover too long. And in my opinion, I would assume those guys are going to be so talented that we won't have to do a lot of blitzes. We'll see. Will we be able to get pressure with 4? And when you can get pressure with 4, more guys to cover, more help. If the D-line is going to eat like it's supposed to, we got to say like it's supposed to, because last year we thought Jonathan Garvin was going to eat, and things didn't go as planned. It ended up being Gregory Rousseau. And then Nesta got hurt. And then most of our pressures came from blitzes. Randy, I don't know. As far as I know, I haven't heard anybody talking about changing defensive philosophies. So I would say that the striker position is here to stay. We've got to stop that. I mean, I'll tell you one thing, Gregory Rousseau, he's athletic enough to run with running backs downfield. I've seen it, but I'd rather him rushing the passer. I'm with you, Wood boy. I understand you want to be exotic, but if Quincy Roche is as good as advertised and Gregory Rousseau can build off of last year, we should be able to rush 4 and get pressure on the quarterback, I would assume. Especially against some of the teams that we're playing. Yeah. I don't like it, but I feel like now a lot of defensive coordinators, a lot of teams are going to that striker position just because teams are passing it so much. So instead of having to to run defensive backs in and things like that, if you run that, you got that striker out there, that's somebody that's going to be confident, and you're going to be confident in them against the run or the pass. Hey, hey, Wood boy, you preaching to the choir. You preaching to the choir, man. You preaching to the choir. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm saying, hey, we ain't even trying to complicate things. Go get it. I think that's just a tough position to find. I mean, I think that striker position is just tough. Those guys are rare, you know. Those guys are rare. Those safeties that can cover the tight end, can come up on the run, can physically handle the running game, can have multi-directional speed, lateral speed, backpedal speed to be able to cover the slots. But like I said, I just don't see the. I just see our defensive linemen, our pressure being able to help out our secondary a lot. That's my thought on it. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this Canes After Dark edition, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody who was in the chat: Wood Boy, Randy, K Brew, Dorian, Lulu Wolf, Anthony. Shout out to George for the $2 super chat. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Greg. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all kicking it with me. Canes After Dark, man. Make sure you like the video on your way out. Also, I have a high school recruitment channel that's going to be a link in the description. Check that out. Subscribe if you like the high school recruits. I did a film look at Elijah Arroyo and Alan Hay. Both of those are on that channel. Link in the description. Hey, I appreciate you guys, and I'll be letting y'all know. Check your notifications for when there'll be another show sometime this week. Hopefully something can happen and we can jump on tomorrow. I appreciate you guys, and hey, it's all about the you.